Good afternoon, everybody, or good afternoon from the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us for this. We're finally in our series of pre-departure webinars for students who are joining University of Plymouth International College, UPIC, in September. I should start by introducing myself, and then I'll introduce my colleagues on the panel here. So I'm Tim Gutzel. I'm Director of Marketing and Admissions for UPIC. And then Shubomi, would you like to kick off, introduce yourself, and then we'll go around the panel.
Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olashubomi Sholake. I'm the Student Recruitment Assistant for University of Plymouth International College here in Lagos, Nigeria.
Toby.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Toby Joseph Johnson. I'm the Student Experience Coordinator here at the University of Plymouth International College.
Thanks, Toby.
Anita.
Walter? Oh, no, I was going to go for Walter.
Yeah, go on.
No, we're saving the best till last, Anita.
No, fair enough.
Sorry, Walter, no offense.
No, that's okay. Anita is way ahead. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Walter. I'm working at the student accommodation, so Clever student-led. So if you've used us, yeah, work for them.
And Anita.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anita. I am a student office service coordinator, officer in here at UPIC. I'm only here for a week, but throw in any question if anyone got anyone.
Okay. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm just very quickly going to change the presentation if I can, because it looks like I've brought up the wrong one. There we go. That's better. Let me change my share. You think we'd never done this before, wouldn't you? Toby, sing us a song.
I don't have the best voice, Tim, but yeah, appreciate it.
There we go.
I hope everyone's really looking forward to joining us in the next few weeks. If you have any questions in the meantime, I'm going to be on the chat function, so I'll be happy to go through any questions that you have.
There we go. I think we've got a more. Can you see this first slide now?
Yeah, you just need to press the presentation button and we're good to go.
There we go. Let's go. So what's going to happen over the next maybe 30 or 45 minutes, it will depend upon how many questions you have, and you're very welcome to ask as many questions as you would like, is we're going to share lots of information with you, and you can see our kind of agenda there up on the screen. So we've done the welcomes, but we'll continue with kind of more introductions to who we are and what we do and meeting the team. We'll talk to you about the services available to you at the Student Hub. So that's things like welfare, counselling, student centre, immigration for any visa concerns you might have. We'll talk to you about accommodation, and we have two prime experts in our accommodation provision on the panel with us this afternoon with Anita and Walter. So they'll be able to answer even the most complicated questions you might have for them. So check the test for them, put them to the test. We'll talk about arrival dates in the UK, the last dates to get here and how to get here. So how to get to Plymouth. So, getting to the airport, getting to Heathrow, that's one part of it, but we'll also tell you how to get from Heathrow to Plymouth and then how to get to your accommodation and to the college. We'll talk to you about student visa issues, about the medical centre, and also a bit about vaccinations because COVID hasn't left us completely. We'll talk about the induction week activities and all the things we have planned there, the welcome talks and the other events. We'll remind you of all the dates, and we'll introduce you to the sabbatical officers in the student union because that's your representative body on campus. So we'll let you know who all of those people are. So that's our agenda for the next half an hour or so. Do feel free to ask any questions as we go along. You can use the chat or the Q&A functions for that, and we'll try and keep up with those by text. And then you're also welcome at the end to ask any questions. Use your voice, raise your hand, and we'll give you the chance to speak as well. Okay, so let's get going. Toby, do you want to tell us about the UPIC Student and Academic Services team?
Yes, yes, we can. And there's a gentleman in that photo that you can see that is on the panel list. He's a former graduate here of the college. That's Walter there, looking at the other guy celebrating. Walter was a previous student here at the University of Plymouth International College. And he was, I believe, enrolled by my colleagues here as well. Us as the student and academic services team, by us, I refer to myself, Anita, and two other colleagues that you guys will get to meet over the next few weeks, comprise the student and academic services team. And we're here for as the first point of contact for any issues that may arise or any questions that you have whilst you study through with us, either on an undergrad or postgraduate level. No question is too small or big. We are here to support you through your student journey. It's very important for you to know our office opening hours. For most of you who will be making arrangements to travel, it's very important that you know when we're operational and when you can get access to us, that which is Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The other thing that's very important to mention, and I'm sure Walter will reiterate, is the fact that you need to let the accommodation companies know when you arrive. I know we try our best to roll the red carpet out for you, but if you arrive at midnight on a Sunday without letting anybody know, unfortunately, you may need to have made arrangements for a hotel. You can contact us via student.support@upic.plymouth.ac.uk. The phone lines I know are ringing quite often, so if you're unable to get through to us via the telephone lines, please send us an email and we will prioritize that. All right. The services that you receive from us at the college is not where it stops. You also receive some mentoring, counseling, and welfare support at the university through the Student Hub, which is located at the university library. In there, you can have conversations around careers, your student center, information about any immigration issues, getting a bank letter. You can get all the access there at the Student Hub. And a member of the team will be here to give you an induction during our orientation weeks.
So you're coming to Plymouth, you're coming here to study, but this is also where you're going to be living over, it could be the next year, it could be the next 4 years, depending upon which program you're coming to study. So it's important that it's a great place to live as well as a great place to learn. Britain's ocean city, that's one of the ways in which Plymouth is described, because it's connected internationally, historically through the sea, to the United States, to France and Spain today through ferries. And it's kind of a small city with a big city feel. Population of about 250,000 people, but still big enough with lots of theatre, cinema, shops, cafes, restaurants. It's a real regional centre. So people come here from the whole region to enjoy the city's facilities. And it's a seaside city. So you can walk from the college to the beach in 10 minutes to the waterfront. In half an hour, you can be up on Dartmoor. Described by GQ magazine as the coolest little city by the sea. So it's a great place to live. And I'm sure you'll discover that when you come here. What you can see on the map there will actually show you something that's a bit more engaging, a kind of virtual tour in a minute. But what you can take from that map is all of those buildings you can see are the university, the student accommodation, the college. Everything is located very close together in the center of the city. So there's no need to use public transport. There's no need to have a car, even a bicycle. You can walk everywhere. Walking is usually the quickest way to get around. All of the accommodation is a few minutes walk away from the teaching buildings. The college is located right on the edge of the university campus and just across the road from the railway station and just up the road from the coach station. So however you get to Plymouth, the college will be just a few minutes away. Toby, do you want to take us on the virtual tour?
Yes, happy to do so.
Better than a map, isn't it? We'll give you a kind of flyover view of the city, give you an idea of the place that you're coming to. Walter, how did you feel when you first came to Plymouth? Was it as you expected or was it different from how you were expecting?
Hold on, you're on mute. Here you go. There you go, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, when I was picking the city, I just saw the ocean. So, and then I saw the environment. So I actually came here because of the environment, because I like being like by the sea. And yes, actually didn't. It was as expected, actually. I really enjoyed my first year, especially because I was staying close to the hole. So this is the hole where Mr. Toby is showing right now. So I did stay close by. So it was perfect. Every night I would just go out, take a walk, just think about life. But yeah, I really enjoyed myself in my first year. But now I'm working and I'm like, no time. It's different now. So,
And you graduated right here on this promenade, didn't you?
yeah, oh yeah, this is where we do our graduation ceremonies as well. They change everything because like they put like a tent, a very big tent, and yeah, they totally transform this place. So it will be looking different during graduation.
But just it was looking the same in regards to the weather, though. Definitely. Yeah.
if you say so.
Yeah, so welcome to Britain's Ocean City, everyone. Like Walter said, this is one of the main hubs of the city itself. It's called the Plymouth Hoe. I'm sure most of you throughout the application process, so when you first looked on our website, you saw this lighthouse and you're wondering, why is it all over the place? So it's a good, so it's right in the center of the Plymouth Hoe, overlooking the Plymouth Sound is what we call it. So the ocean, southwest of the UK. It's got really good transportation links between France and Spain on a ferry, which goes across to Royal William Yard, south of the city. Over here, we have Tinside Lido, which during the summer, people come out to swim, come out for walks. It's a beautiful location, as you can imagine. The reason why I joke around the weather is, the Plymouth is actually one of the most warmest cities in the UK. So generally during September time when people are graduating, I know when I did many years ago, the weather was really nice during graduation towards the end of September. So if you're arriving really soon, I think you'd get a good bit of nice sunny weather just before the cold hits in October. As you can see as well, you can see the Plymouth University logo right in the heart of the city. The distance between the Plymouth Hoe and the actual campus is a 10 to 15-minute walk. So it's very central. You're not going to have any issues around, the kind of accommodation I'm booking. Am I going to have to take taxis to get to class? Everything within here is within a walking distance, okay? And most student accommodation is within a circumference of the university, which is right in the middle of the city. Okay. The Clever Student Lets, so the accommodation provider Walter is currently working for, they're located right here on the corner of the university, so very close. It's very important I start off actually with where we are at the college. So there are 3 members of staff. So Tim, myself, and Anita are located in this building here where my cursor is. And that also happens to be right across the train station. So if you're booking a train, you've arrived in London Heathrow, you've arrived in London Gatwick, you've taken a train down to Plymouth, you're a little bit worried, how do I get to the campus? We're living in an innovative, technological era. We can have access to Google Maps on all your documentation, on every email you've had dialogued with a member of staff at UPIC or the university. The contact details are below, as well as the address. So all you have to do is put that in, use Google Maps, and you'll be right here at the college or right here at the center at the university. The coach station is also around here where my cursor is, so very close. And as you can see, there's loads of different, private accommodation providers, but we always, recommend the students book via our website for accommodation. Walter will talk about this a little bit longer and the process around that. And yeah, once you've received your application, once you've accepted your offer for your accommodation, then once you arrive, meet those demands, you get your keys, you're all settled. And then you can come to the college and complete your orientation and the enrollment, and get ready for classes starting hopefully for the 19th if you're undergrad, and from the 26th if you're a postgrad student. Anything else that we'd like to mention, Tim?
Oh, should we have a look at Royal William Yard?
Yeah, let's fly over there.
You've got your
Let's go
drone license now, haven't you? You can get us there.
Let's go for lunch.
Go and see your boat moored in the harbour there.
Oh, well, one of them.
So these are these actually were old warehouses for the Navy back in the day, where they kept all their food and drink ready for the ships to go and set sail. They've all now been converted into really nice flats and apartments and houses. And there's lots of cafes and restaurants there. And you can actually get a ferry that's just a 10-minute ride from the centre of town to take you out to Royal William Yard. So that's a really lovely place to go and spend a couple of hours on a nice sunny day. Where you can see in the background there, the water, the land on the other side of the water, that's the next county, as we call it, that's Cornwall. There's another little ferry that can take you over there to Mount Edgecombe. That's a really nice day trip to make.
We got Drake's Island as well.
We do, don't we? Out in the channel there, Drake's Island. You can, that's another place you can actually take a boat to and have a guided tour of Drake's Island. This is looking back at the city from out on the water. So we could go and look at the marine station, maybe, Toby.
Yes.
It's a coastal university. So obviously what that means is what the university is really excellent at is all things to do with marine teaching and research. So last year ranked #1 in the world among all universities for marine teaching and research. This year again in the top 5. So that's an area of real kind of expertise that the university has that relates very closely to our location. So the area at the top of this picture here is called the Barbican, and that's a really nice place to go as well for cafes and for nightlife, but also during the day, nice place to walk around. Sutton Harbour, we're flying over there. Where else should we go, Toby?
We can come across. So we can go back to the university and just show some of the facilities available. So the Students' Union, with access to over 300 societies and clubs. The location of the student hub is in the Charles Seal Library, which is quite in the middle of the campus itself. The Students' Union shop, where the students can grab some lunch during their breaks. And yeah, the library itself with all these amazing facilities.
And you can see that a lot of these are very modern buildings. The university actually has its origins more than 100 years ago when it started life as a school of navigation. So again, another kind of reference to our coastal location, but it's developed massively since then. And a lot of the buildings we have now are modern buildings, and there is more being built all the time. So there's a huge new building being put up as a centre for all of the engineering subjects that we offer. New student accommodation going up all the time as well. So it's a large university that's getting bigger all of the time, expanding, improving all of the time.
Absolutely.
Train station, we could show where the train station and the coach station are relative to the campus, couldn't we?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, it's just opposite the college itself, and the coach station is also very central.
So very quick and easy to get to, well, out of Plymouth if you want to. Go and spend a weekend in London. That's about 3.5 hours away by train. So, you know, a bad day getting across one of the bridges in Lagos from the island to the mainland, I know that can take 3.5 hours. So we're not in London, we're in the southwest of England, but it's still only a relatively short train ride away.
Fantastic. I'll go back, I'll stop sharing. I'll put the access to this virtual tour on the chat function, so feel free to go exploring, everyone.
So Walter, Anita, you know Plymouth well. Is there anything we should have added? Can't really ask you about Shibomi yet because you haven't visited yet, but hopefully you will soon. But what else should we add, Anita, Walter?
Probably, you didn't tell them about like the grocery stores, you know. Very
go on then.
Wilco, Sainsbury's, Aldi is very important. You know, I found out about Aldi late. So for people who are looking for like affordable like grocery stores, I think Aldi is like the best. You could get things for really, really good prices. So the only problem is that depending on where you're staying, it could be quite a distance to walk. And every time I go shopping at Aldi, I always end up taking like 4 bags, which means I have to use a taxi. So, so yeah, because of how good the prices are, you just want to like shop in bulk. So you end up just taking a taxi.
You can get good West African food in Plymouth as well, can't you? So there are cafes that do West African food, so you can get your jollof, or there are supermarkets for West African food, so you can get all the ingredients and get your plantains. One of my favorite breakfasts, fried plantain.
Ah, yes. So we have, I think there's Mama Rita's, there's Plymouth Jollof. I think those are the ones I've been to, and the other ones like Soul Food, but those are the ones I've been to, and they're quite nice. Just heads up, when you come, you might complain. Like, this is a tip for my Nigerians coming as well. Just when you hear the price of something, don't try to start converting because you'll get frustrated. Just close your eyes and buy it, and then
you get frustrated with your country.
try to convert the price.
Yeah, so do not convert the price from naira to pounds. You know, understandably, things are a lot differently priced in different locations depending on logistics of getting them across to the UK. So just be aware.
Anita, good Chinese food in Plymouth?
Yeah, there is a Chinese supermarket actually near Royal William Yard. There's another one in Tang as well. Plenty of Chinese restaurant close, like literally I'll per say 2. There's one on North Hill. So there's it's 2 minutes walk away from the uni campus, very city center located. Like you won't miss them. You will see it there everywhere. So you won't miss some Chinese food for anyone.
Great, thank you both. Moving on to accommodation. So it's over to our experts, Anita, Walter. Tell us everything we need to know about accommodation.
Should I go first? Can I go first, Anita?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, go for it. Go for it.
All right, yeah. By the way, guys, Anita is way ahead of me, so she knows better. But I'll just briefly talk about Clever. So it used to be Clever Student Lets, but we're trying to like do a little rebrand. So now we just call ourselves either Clever Estates or just Clever, just because of the rebranding. We've been open for over 10 years, so you can imagine how long that is. So we're among the first actual real estate for students in particular. So we focus more on students, although now we're trying to like branch out to residents, so people who are not students, so people who work full time. We're trying to like open up to them as well, but we focus majorly on students. Like I said, we've been there for over 10 years. We've helped on the record. We've helped over 23,000 students. So most of the information is on our website. So if you go there, you can see, and that's stayclever.co.uk. We've helped over 23,000 students. I'll just go briefly into how you could get an accommodation. I'm assuming some of you already have accommodation with us, but for those who haven't, if you go on the website, you can scroll through the website, and then if you find anything you like, you could arrange a viewing. So I think what we're trying to do now is we can start like virtual viewings for students who are not in the UK. Usually we would prefer for you to be here, because then we could just take you straight to the property. It's really difficult when you're abroad, and then we have to like do virtual, although there are pictures on there, but obviously it doesn't justify how the property actually looks like. But we're trying to see if we can start doing like virtual tours and like virtual viewings where we can just take our phones, and then you could be on the call while we'll take you around the property. I've done one of that. I just did one actually, I think was it 2 days ago, with a student from Turkey. So we did a virtual viewing for her. And that way, when you're signing a contract, you can't say, oh, this wasn't there or this is missing. But then if you see it and you like it, we know, okay, this was your decision. So when you're done with the viewing, you pick the house you like. Obviously, we have different options, so you can pick from whatever option you'd like. And then you do a booking form. So that is to make sure we keep the house for you. Because if you see a place, if you just say verbally, oh, I like this place, if you don't do a booking form, it could still go to someone else. It's not yours until you've booked and you've paid a certain amount, then the place will be secured for you. So you make the payment, and then we'll process the tenancy agreement, and then you sign, and the place belongs to you. Now, this is off the presentation, just for students, because something I faced is, it is important. So when you arrive this year, if you were looking for where to stay next year, it is now. You have to look for a place now for next year, because the best houses with the best prices, they go really quickly. You will find something at the end, but it might not be up to your taste. So this is just an advice, something I didn't know, just putting it out there. So when you arrive, if you're, especially for people doing undergrad, if you don't like your current place and you're looking for a place for next year, you have to start looking for a place now, because they go really fast. We are there 24/7 on emails though. Saturday, Sunday, we're not open. The office will not be open, but I think the maintenance team will still be there. So if you pop us an email, if it's an emergency, you can call, and we'll be there to get everything sorted out. One thing we've started again this year is to have like a barcode. So if something is wrong, because of how many people we have, if you can't get to us, all you have to do is just scan the barcode. It will take you to like a form where you have to fill up your address, fill up what's wrong, and it will be sent to the maintenance team, and they will look through it, and then they will respond, and then they will let you know how long it will take for them to actually come and get it sorted. Obviously, high priority, then the quicker they do it. If it's not high priority, it might take some time to get it sorted, but then they will definitely get it sorted. I think that's a brief summary, actually. Brief summary about. Also, for students coming in that have booked with us as well, there's available bedding. So we've provided beddings. It should be in your room when you arrive. Also, something Mr. Toby was saying is keys. If you're coming on a Saturday and a Sunday, you have to inform the agency on time, because, like I said, it will be closed. But then, if you can let them know on time, we can arrange maybe where they could. For me, when I was coming, I came in on a weekend, so my keys, I think they left them in a hotel. I don't know if they still do that, if we can still do that, but we could arrange something and we could leave the key with someone and a hotel or someone that could be open for 24/7, and then you could pick it up from there. But you just have to let us know if you're coming during the weekend. And yeah, so I think briefly that is I might have missed something, but Anita will be there to cover my ass. So
that's great. Thank you, Walter. Thanks for the introduction. Anita, talk us through some of the options that are available through Clever. So the styles of room, the costs, the locations.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously there's a few different room types. So either you can have ensuite bedrooms. Ensuite bedroom is a double room, come with your own private bathroom. And then you do also have a studio option. A studio option is a little bit more expensive, but it is more independent. So you do have your own space, your own kitchen, your own bathroom, everything just to yourself. But as I say, that is a little bit more expensive than a standard ensuite bedrooms. They do also have another very popular option, which is a classic double room, which is basically a room in a share house. So in that way, you might probably know a bit more people because you interact a bit more, you share everything, you share the bathroom, you share the kitchen as well. That's the three main type of room choice. And they do, as you can see from the PowerPoint, they do start from £90 onward. If you're looking for ensuite bedrooms, you are looking about £100 to 110. A studio, you're looking about 139 upward. It depends on the style you would like. Another thing I would like to mention is hopefully all of you have already arranged accommodation, but if not, you can apply through on our UPIC website, and then it will go through to Clever directly. If you have not booked accommodation yet, and if you feel like you want to come here and have a look first, don't panic. It's absolutely fine. I'm sure Walter or any member of staff in Clever will be able to help you. They will always be able to find a room for you. So don't panic thinking, I haven't booked anything yet. What do I do? What should I do? We're always here to help. Most of the accommodation, they are roughly about 5 to 10 minutes walk to city center. So as Tim and Toby said, please don't worry, you need to take a taxi to the uni. Please don't worry, you need to take a bus to the uni. It's all within walking distance. So that is another thing you do not need to worry about. Okay. But as I said, Walter is here. So if you need anything, drop him an email, drop him a text, WhatsApp him if you want to, and then he will be able to answer any question you might have.
Great. Thank you, Anita. I think we've probably covered this next slide that talks about our partnership with Clever Student Lets. And then the airport pickup service. Toby, you're probably best informed about this, aren't you?
Yeah, so the airport pickup service is available. Those prices have just changed recently just due to the cost of living crisis. I will update that very soon. But you can book on the website, so upic.navitas.com/airport pickup. You provide your flight details, and a member of staff will be in touch with you, confirming that booking with information of a placard of them showing your contact details for when you arrive at the airport, and you get a taxi service right from any of the major airports, so London, Heathrow, Gatwick, Exeter, or Bristol.
Thanks, Toby. Then other ways to get to Plymouth, lots of ways to get here. So obviously booking a taxi would be the most convenient way, probably the fastest way of doing it, but also one of the more expensive ways of doing it. If you do want to book a taxi, please do that through us, because if you expect to walk out of the airport at Heathrow and get in a taxi and ask the driver to take you to Plymouth, that's going to cost you a lot of money. Not quite as much as your tuition fees for the year, but close.
Pretty close.
So don't do that. But if you want to use a taxi, book with us in advance, or you can get here by train, or you can get here by coach. The coach will be a little bit slower, perhaps a little bit less expensive. That's the main advantage, but still perfectly convenient because you can get a coach from the bus station at Heathrow. You can book in advance and you can check the schedules on the National Express website. Yeah, and as we mentioned before, the coach station, when you get to Plymouth, is right in the centre of the city. So very easy to get from the coach station to the college or to your accommodation. That's probably going to take about 4.5 to 5 hours from Heathrow. The train will be a little bit quicker, but will be a bit more expensive. You get the train by catching the Heathrow Express from the airport, and then catching the train from London Paddington down to Plymouth. And again, you can see the timetables for that on the National Rail website. As we showed you before, the train station is right across the road from the college, so literally 2 minutes walk. BRP, Toby?
So the BRP is a biometric residence permit that you'll be collecting once you arrive in the UK. This would be the place you'd be picking this up would be the post office. If you happen to be under 18, you cannot go there yourself, so you have to be accompanied by either the a responsible adult that you've put on your visa application, or myself, who escorts you to the post office and help you pick that up. It's available after a few days once you arrive, so you can go there the next day. No alarm really, but you will need that to complete your enrollment. And in some cases, pick up your keys for your accommodation. So if you can do so as quick as you can, or communicate that across to us at student support, that would be very, very helpful.
Thanks, Toby. The University Medical Centre, the building you can see here is right in the centre of the campus. All of our students have access to the medical centre as soon as you've registered with a doctor, with a GP, general practitioner. All you have to do is register with a GP somewhere in town, and then you have access to the medical centre, which is right in the heart of the campus. We do still need to talk about COVID. There are quite high rates of COVID in the UK at the moment, but nowhere close to the levels of the numbers of people getting seriously ill or having to go to hospital. So it hasn't gone away. It is still with us, but the effects are much more mild than they have been in the past. If you want to update your vaccinations, you can do once you've registered with a GP, and that's still free of charge. Highly recommended, although I know some people have mixed feelings about vaccinations. We'd highly recommend it. And if you have started, the health service in the UK will do everything they can to make sure that an updated jab or a second jab uses the same drug, the same vaccination as you had first time around. So good to bring your medical records with you. If you want more information about coronavirus, there's a link to the government's website there. It's something people are not especially worried about here anymore. I think it would be fair to say you will still see some people wearing masks in shops. It's not compulsory to do so. Some people who are more vulnerable around their general health are perhaps more concerned about, getting COVID as well, if they're not well in the first place. But generally, it feels like we're through the other side, mostly because people are not getting anywhere near as badly ill as they were before. Is that fair to say, do you think, Toby, those of us who live in the UK?
Agreed.
Enrollment, back to you, Mr. Joseph Johnson.
So yes, as you can see on the script here, that's all correct. If you're an undergrad student, so you're coming in for foundation or first year, your orientation week is next week between the 12th and 16th of September. If you're a pre-master's student, your orientation is from the 19th to the 23rd. Classes do start the week after. To complete registration, we need some of those information that you can see below there. Not to worry so much on the academic qualifications, because we've had new notification that we don't need to see originals in person now. The other things that we need to see are your BRP, like I mentioned. We need your contact details, so your updated phone number, UK address, and also emergency contact details of at least 2 members of family, so we can contact in event of any medical issues.
And the welcome talks.
So most of you who are undergrads, so I've sent across the orientation guide, which has information for each day, Monday to Friday next week, to all the undergrad students. The pre-masters one will be sent out later today. And on the day 5 of each talk, you will have program-specific talks from the college management team, as well as the student support team, just to go over any queries that you have. So things around your timetable, how to access some of our material. Understandably, most of you may have completed the online enrollment from the university side of things, but that is not where it stops. Just to give you a better perspective, you're both a UPIC student and a University of Plymouth student. We do have 2 different systems that are operating. So you have to do things in some cases twice. So please ensure that when you arrived, do not just think that, oh, I've completed the enrollment online, that's all I have to do. You need to see a member of staff from the college. So myself, Anita, my other colleague, Dion, or Dr. Jones, before you are completely enrolled. Just some important dates. All this information is in the pre-departure guide or in the orientation guide. So please do have a read of that information. I've been sending that out over the last few weeks. So it's very important that you take a look and a good read. And here are some of our sabbatical officers for the 2022-2023 academic year. They're here to represent you. Walter, who's on the call here, was a former vice president of the Students' Union himself. Yeah, the cool chap. Yeah, twice, not just once, twice. Yeah, 2 years in a row. We can't get rid of him for some reason.
No, I've tried leaving, but they keep.
So yeah, it's a good representation of your fellow students, and to understand from the perspective that Walter studied at the college, which is only a partner of the university, and went on to be in these senior roles for 2 years in a row, just shows you that if you have the potential and you're willing to work hard, you can succeed. And just a few of our contact details there. If any of you had any questions, feel free to take that down, or like I said in the beginning of the presentation, contact a member of the student support team.
I've got some questions, Toby.
Yep, go on.
How can I enroll if I haven't got my visa yet?
You have to wait until you arrive before you can complete your enrollment. You cannot enroll online.
Why can't I enroll online?
Because we are not an online provider. All classes are meant to be face-to-face.
Yeah, everything is back on campus now. So obviously during the coronavirus period, we did teach online and students were able to enroll and study online. We're now fully back on campus. with one exception, and that's pre-sessional English just for the next few months, but then everything will be back on campus. Toby, I've got some really good friends in Newcastle. It's not a problem, is it, to go and stay with them? And if I come down to Plymouth once a month, that will be okay, won't it?
No, because you're not
Why
studying.
not?
Because you're not studying at Newcastle University. You're studying at the University of Plymouth University, and hence you have to be within close proximity to attend your
close
classes.
proximity. I'd heard Plymouth is a much nicer place for Newcastle anyway.
Yes, it is. Better weather, a lot warmer.
There you go. Okay, I'll come to Plymouth then. Thank you for your advice.
Great.
When do I have to pay the second instalment of my fees?
The second installment of your fees. So if you are an undergrad student, this only applies to them. So undergrad, foundation, or first year, your fees are due on the 18th of November. So that's when you make the next installment of your tuition fees.
I'm getting really excited about the prospect of coming to Plymouth. I can't wait. Can I come tomorrow?
Yes, you can travel now if you've got your visa.
Ah, brilliant. Will you pay for my flight?
No, unfortunately.
It's a bit mean.
Yeah.
Do I need to buy a laptop? I can do everything on my phone, can't I? I'm very good on my phone. I do YouTube and everything on my phone. Surely I can do my studies on my phone as well.
You can't, unfortunately. You need access to a laptop, a working laptop, so you can get access to Microsoft Office and the other features, which are free, by the way, as a University of Plymouth
Laptops?
student. No, the program.
The programs. Do I need to buy a new laptop, or can I get a second-hand one, do you think, in Plymouth?
You can still use a second-hand laptop, and there are some available at different shops in the town center.
Are they going to be good quality and virus-free?
Completely up to the person you're buying. It's very important that you read the terms and conditions.
Yeah, but there are some shops, aren't there, which are quite reliable in Plymouth for buying a second-hand laptop. So
absolutely.
Please don't think you can study on your phone. You need to get a laptop. There are computer labs on the campus, which are open 24/7. There's a computer room in the college where you can get access to a computer, but it's going to be much more convenient for you if you have a laptop. Don't think you need to buy one, the most expensive one. Also, you can buy a perfectly decent second-hand one. But don't buy a Google device, because then you won't have access to all of the Microsoft Office programs. I know lots of people like Apple, but a lot of the things that you do, you'll be better off with a Microsoft driven device, because then you'll have access to all of the basic programs you need, such as Excel and Word. It's all there on Microsoft. So we're not, we're not promoting particular brands. It's just if you have access to the Office suite loaded on a laptop, that's going to be far more convenient for you. Toby, I've got a big family party at home in November. I can come after that, can't I? It shouldn't be a problem.
No, absolutely not. So if you're an undergrad student, your absolute last possible day. Actually, I don't like to promote this, but you need to be here from day one of teaching. But if for any example, there's any issues and you're not here before the 30th of September, you really need to be communicating that to us as soon as possible. But the last day to enroll is the 30th of September officially for undergrad students. If you're a pre-master student, the last day for you to enroll is the 26th of September.
And will you call my mum and tell her why I can't attend that party?
No, because you most likely are an adult, so it's your responsibility and it's your name on the contract.
Are you calling me a responsible adult now?
Yes, you are.
Oh, thank you, sir. What's the first thing I should do once I arrive in the UK?
Contact a member of student support so they can check up on you and provide you with any assistance as well. You also need to complete your right to study check. Most of you would have received an email from the compliance team at the university with a link to upload your documents. Obviously, do not do so yet because you haven't picked up your BRP.
Thanks, Toby. I know we've done that in quite a light-hearted way, but these FAQs, these are things which we are asked quite often, and it's really important. The answer to these questions is really important. So hopefully that's been informative for you. I think we're done with the slides at that point.
You're very welcome. I think Shubhami has helped us answer some of the questions, but just to wrap up, please contact a member of student support if you have any queries at all. All 5 of us have so much information to assist all of you with. We're really happy that you are here to join us for the last 45 minutes on this call. We are really looking forward to welcoming you to Britain's Ocean City. We want you to have an amazing experience. The mission statement for the university is to advance knowledge, to transform lives. We've got so many examples of how we've done that in the past, and we're really looking forward to, having to take that forward with you as well.
So are there any other final questions that you would like to ask before we leave? We can stay for as long as you would like to carry on asking questions. Don't worry about that. If you would like to use your voice, then raise your hand and we'll give you permission to speak. Yeah, so any other final questions before we leave you? Or panelists, anything else you would like to add? Shibomi, anything you would like to add? Or Anita, Walter?
None from me. I think you've covered a major questions, so I think we're good to go.
There was a question in the Q&A. I think that's been answered.
Yeah, it was last day of, so I think the person, Adiola, thought we said last day of installment. It's not installment, it's enrollment. Enrollment is where you get access to your timetable and are officially a university student. So the last day, if you're a pre-master student, is the 26th of September. The last day, if you're an undergrad student, is the 30th of September. If you still have not gotten your visa by that date, it's very important that you communicate that with the student support team. Adiola, I've seen your email that has come through asking about that. So we will answer that accordingly. A member of staff will get back to you shortly.
Okay, so any final questions before we leave you? Great stuff. As Toby said, we're really excited to welcome you as Plymouth students in Britain's Ocean City. It's going to be a great second half of September as all of our students enroll and we get you on board and up and running happily in your new accommodation and studying with us. So it should be a really exciting time. We're really looking forward to welcoming you. I'd just like to say thank you before we go to all of my fellow panelists here, to Shibomi, to Toby, to Anita and Walter. Thank you very much for your contributions. Yeah, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks, everybody.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. All the best.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.